So when's an AK not an AK? Well, we're gonna find out in this episode of Airsoftology Review. So this is the Arcturus Centaur version B gun, and it's the AG, and it's a brand new brand. You guys are probably going, well, who the heck is Arcturus? Well, they are new to the scene. These guys have come out kind of out of nowhere. I love these new brands that just kind of pop up, and they're creating something a little different. They're going a little different. They're not just going super mainstream. And first, one of their big releases is under kind of like an AK style. This is the Centaur B version. There's like a couple different variants of this. The B is this one right here in my hand. I'm gonna kind of set it up for you guys and show you. This is an AK, but not an AK. You guys can definitely tell that there's some different things going on here. Obviously, the telltale sign of the AK magazine hanging out, the way things work, charging handle, and fire selector. But short of that, it doesn't really look like it on first glance. It actually looks more like a modern assault rifle, kind of something akin to the ACR or the Masada. But anyway, we're gonna look at the externals, we're gonna talk about internals and chrono here, and we're gonna dive on into the outside first. So first thing is, I'm gonna tell you guys and gals what is plastic on here. The grip, the stock, and the sights, that's it. Everything else is metal, and most of this is steel, it looks like. I don't have a magnet, I can't put it to it, but I'm gonna tell you, except for the rail system, which is definitely aluminum, you can tell that. I would definitely say there's some CNCing going on here, CNCing, upper and lower rails. But for the body itself, we're looking at stamped steel. We're looking at real stamped steel for the AK. Think about what you're gonna get from like an LCT type body of this, or an E&L. We're looking at that. And then a huge hunk of metal back here. You're not gonna snap this thing off back in the back. But we're gonna start with the end, and we're gonna work our way down. I'm gonna tell you about what's going on here, and then what else comes in the box as well. So, starting at the tip, flash hider, really cool looking, kind of a cool muzzle brake, really neat design, 14mm counterclockwise threads, full metal outer barrel. This is a long boy right here. Looks like the BB's load right here. So your inner barrel starts here all the way out. This one's gonna have some serious inner barrel length, so you're gonna get some pretty darn good accuracy out there, and you're gonna get the most out of your spring in this. Moving on back, like I said, full metal inside there, full metal on the outside. Lower rail here gives you a ton of rail space, so you can put a grenade launcher if you want to, and even probably still get it off here with the, maybe if you got a short one, like one of those short Mabel ones in the front. Usually the AKs, you have a problem with the way the magazine loads to get a grenade launcher, otherwise it'll bump it as you try to do a mag change. This one, I think you can do it. I think you can put a small one out here and still be good to go, like a Western style, not like a Russian style AK grenade launcher. The Russian style ones, of course, are designed to work with AKs. So the bottom is, you got this M-lock rail here down the side, a lot of venting, got Picatinny down the bottom, so you don't have to buy any extra pieces. That's pretty cool that they did that. And then some cool holes here. They're kind of for looks. Upper rail, kind of the same thing going on. Got some screw points here on the front, left and right, just kind of for like a, what would be like a rail segment there, or kind of mounting the two upper and lower together. Same bolt kind of systems here. Kind of a cool styling to connect everything. Some cool venting here, like on the real one, it would vent out. In fact, they even have venting on the top rail here. Like, they don't need to do that because this isn't a real gun, but they would need that on the real AR, real platform here, the real AK platform, to vent the heat off the barrel and the gas tube. And it's pretty cool that they actually have all that on here just for the Airsoft version. The upper rail is one big piece from here all the way to here. That is one solid, unbreakable, undividable piece. So you're going to get a ton of real estate. There's a small gap here where there is none, kind of where the sight would be kind of normally, but nonetheless, you get this massive piece of real estate in here, which is just freaking huge. It's so big, it's so expansive, and that's pretty darn cool that you get all that real estate. I mean, you can put any kind of lights, you're not gonna run out of space. You do get the front and rear flip up sights, they kind of pop up into place. They do kind of have a small little sight if it's in its down position, so you haven't flipped them up, you can still aim a little bit, but it does have the adjustable aperture here. You can flip it open, large or small, flip up, press the side on either one or the top, and they'll snap up into place. You can just lock them down out of the way if you want to run some optics on here. Like I said, low receivers, definitely steel on this. You got the fire selector, you get the tactical AK fire selector, so you can do the fire change with, look, your finger. That's great, that's nice, and you can go back up. You don't have to worry about, when you're taking your hand off, doing the old AK swap and back on, or reaching over or reaching around or whatever the heck you're gonna do here, especially with the magnet. It's kind of playing, put the magnet the right way, magnet, it's kind of playing. But this one you can actually just go through and make your fire selectors no problem. with that. It's pretty easy to do. It's not hard to move, but it still definitely snaps into place. Russian markings on the stamp steel there, so you have like the normal stuff, not in English, so hopefully you can read Cyrillic. On the back, you do have a single sling attachment point here on this huge chunk of metal. It is a fold-aside stock, meaning just swings out of the way, kind of through just kind of spring tension will hold through in there. You do have a little kind of storage in here, I guess, on the stock. The stock itself is extendable. You get the tool to switch it on the side. You can take it out. It's like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish positions, it looks like. Also, the cheek rest can kind of move up and down about half a centimeter, maybe 3/4 of a centimeter, so about half an inch up and down play if you want a little better cheek weld. On the back, rubber butt pad, a little comfort if you want. Swing attachment point there too if you want to go that route, and a swivel sling attachment point here. In the front, you're not going to have one, but you have to basically buy something to put on up here. No big deal though, not a huge deal breaker at all. You just got like, I usually would run a single point on this anyway. It's a tactical rifle. Just clip it on. I mean, I know a lot of guys don't run the 2 points anywhere, but if you do want a 2 point, you can probably sling it through the rail or just buy an M-LOK attachment. This is M-LOK, so you can just put it on. There's like 1,000 attachments out there to make that work. Moving down the grip, it's kind of like a modern tactical style. It's really kind of small feeling for an AK, which I like. A lot of the AK grips are a little big. They're the big fat ones, or they're kind of like real skinny, the old school ones. Nothing kind of in between. This one feels very M4-ish, so it feels very comfortable for you M4 guys. I think this is going to be a good platform if you want kind of like kind of a longer rifle M4. You're going to have this instead. You're going to feel a lot better about it. Also in the box, since we're kind of done with all the bits and pieces on the outside, you do get 2 magazines. It's pretty cool. They go with a high cap and a mid cap. You get one of each. They're kind of like a the modern style, kind of a P-mag-ish thing going on here. Wheel at the bottom on this one, door at the top, and then this one does have the follower that pops out, so it's going to feed almost every BB out. I kind of like that. They did that. It's pretty darn cool. Both of these are plastic. They're pretty darn good. They have some give to them, so they're not like going to be like, you know, PTS EPM level mags, but man, these things do feel pretty darn tough. The plastic looks good. I mean, to really give it some awe here, I wouldn't worry too much at all about using these. They look like they're pretty darn well molded plastic. No cheap corners cut here. Rounding out the externals, we'll kind of internals a little bit if you want to get into that. We have the standard AK hop-up underneath the hood here. You just hold that guy back. You actually in there, it's a little slider, so no way it normally works. Inside, they do have the electronic trigger mech box, so you can kind of hear it. I'm going to see if I can get it close and click for you. Hear that clicky click? That is the sound of like the snap switch trigger, the electric trigger in there. So that means they have some good guts in here. A little bit of electronic trigger, not the standard contact. So you don't have to worry about that burning out. So it's gonna have a little more oomph to it. That's kind of a nice upgrade, especially when you talk about price point on these. I'm gonna get to it later to give you guys and gals an idea. But I think again, rounding out kind of like the internals before we get into like doing chrono, the styling on this is pretty clean and simple. It's also modern on this. I kind of like what they've done with it. And on the outside, you just basically have the only markings you can see are the Arcturus logo right here, super small, and a unique serial number on the side. Now, if I did have to get into one complaint, it's getting to the battery. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain. You gotta kind of work a little pin here in the back to access the area where you're gonna get in there and be able to get your battery. That's kind of the only downside with the design they have here, but it's a trade-off on this version just because of the rail. They do have other versions with the standard dust cover on it. No worries there. You can pop in, get into your battery. No big deal. That's no problem at all. But on this one, you gotta do a little finagling to get in there to get your battery. All right, taking it to the chrono, saw the numbers, actually what I would expect for something big like this, a long gun. We're seeing like a 110, 15, 20-ish range in the meters per second, if that's how you calculate it. All these done with a .20 gram BB, so you're gonna see outdoor field guns. It's something you would expect for a gun this size. It's not a big surprise. Rate of fire is actually pretty good using a level 1 LiPo. You can hear it here to give you an idea of what you're getting yourself into. The trigger response is great because of that kind of snappy trigger that you get in there. So I saw some solid trigger response in there. It's very predictable. There's actually a tactile click, a definite break when you pull that, so you know when it's gonna fire. I like that a lot, actually. Most airsoft guns, you don't get that. So this one you do, and I kind of like what they did there. So that's it. The Arcturus, congratulations on a brand new brand. It's probably the first review or one of the first reviews of it. I think they're heading the right direction. They're definitely mixing kind of like higher end AK styling with pretty good parts. Like I said, the stock, the polymer on the stock is really darn good. I mean, they're doing some good work here. It doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like they cut any corners. The grip's pretty darn nice too. I mean, the metal is solid. We're looking at steel here. We're looking at CNC aluminum down the front, the flash hider. I mean, it's all good. Also for the price point, right now, they're kind of limited availability, but price point's darn good. So right now we're looking at Asia market for a lot of the sales, sub 300 US dollars. Now again, your mileage may vary once they get to different countries. There's taxes and tariffs and all this stuff. We're talking Hong Kong prices here. They might vary, but you're still seeing something in, I would say, the premium line, affordable in the higher end. So it's kind of coming in on the lower price point in the higher end, which kind of matches with the build of the gun. So anyway, if you guys want to learn more about this, you get 2 mags in the box, you got the gun, flip up sights, kind of everything to go. You just need to toss a battery in this thing, rock and roll, get you a LiPo or a stick. Because of this rail system, you have actually a little bit extra room in here. It's not as crowded inside of here as it is a normal AK case, but I do like that as well. So you can actually get a little bit bigger battery in there so you can kind of run that LiPo. I definitely say to run a LiPo on this one because it's going to be one that you're going to want to have a little extra for. But yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more, I have a link in the description below so you can check it out and learn some more about this and see the other variants. They have this and they have M4s. I'll be doing a review on that too. I have it linked here below once I get it up too if you guys are more of an M4 fan than an AK fan. But anyway, until next video, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.